Peggy 16.
Bubble the gate! Smoke 'em!
While XDefiant is free to play, it comes with a strong lineup of content starting from day one. At launch, you can fight as one of 4 factions, along with the earnable hacktivist group, DedSec. With 14 different maps, 24 unique weapons, and 44 customizable attachments to unlock, you'll have a wealth of content to dive into at the game's release. Every 3 months, we'll bring a new season that includes a brand new faction with new characters, new maps, new weapons, a new battle pass, new cosmetics, and events. Listening to our community and always being transparent will remain our priority. Plus, ongoing live support will deliver new seasonal events and balance updates. XDefiant is committed to supporting its players season over season with a wide variety of fresh and fun content that raises competition to the next level.
Peggy 16.
XDefiant's battles take place in a wide variety of maps, several inspired by Ubisoft's worlds and factions. Pueblito may look familiar to anyone who's engineered a Libertad uprising in the Caribbean nation of Yara. This fishing village combines a central, open area surrounded by a chaotic network of back alleys and blind corners. A juicy DedSec target, the Noodleplex Tech campus's manicured exterior and decadent interiors make for distinct objective zones, while a classic 3-lane structure helps ensure a balanced match flow. Midway is a linear map, kicking off with outside amusement park attractions before moving through a haunted house, and then the long final approach to a Ferris wheel. Attica Heights Research Facility is a symmetrical map with upper and lower floors, an ideal competitive battleground for phantoms and non-phantoms alike. That's just a few of the 14 maps at launch. XDefiant's fast-paced arena and linear 6v6 modes are easy to jump into, but reward skill and teamwork. Domination and Occupy are riffs on classic arena modes, where you take and hold territory with help from your faction abilities. In Hotshot, another arena mode, you pick up bounties dropped by fallen enemies to score points. The player with the most bounties gets a movement and rate of fire boost, as well as a bounty score multiplier. But they also show up on the enemy's HUD, so good luck staying alive. For linear modes like Escort and Zone Control, teams take on dedicated attacker or defender roles with opposing objectives. The attacking team's objective will progress them through the map, while the defense tries to stop them in their tracks. In Escort, for example, attackers try to move the package through a series of checkpoints to its final destination. Defenders do what they can to stop or even reverse the package's progress. Ranked play is coming in Season 1 with tweaked rule sets to support competitive play. XDefiant will continue to add new maps, modes, and limited time experiences, bringing you new challenges with each season.
Peggy 16.
This is XDefiant, a free-to-play competitive shooter featuring fast-paced gunplay complemented with specialized factions. So, what are the factions? Our factions are all drawn from iconic Ubisoft worlds and represent distinct classes, each with unique abilities and ultras. You can choose any character from any faction to assemble your team of 6 players. And during the game, you can change your faction or loadout to adapt your strategy. For your loadout, choose from a large arsenal of weapons and attachments to customize and fit your playstyle. At its core, XDefiant features realistic gunplay and the fun, familiar mechanics of an arena shooter. Each battle will take place on one of our 14 starting maps. Play casual matches and have fun with players of all types and skills, where every match delivers an unpredictable and unique experience. Or play ranked mode in competitive matchups against your peers, to push yourself further and see what you're truly made of, whether you're a beginner or ready to dominate the game. XDefiant is free with crossplay, so jump in with your friends across platforms. And as a live game with fresh new content every single season, XDefiant will continue to deliver an accelerating experience that will always be free to play and never pay to win.
Peggy 16.
XDefiant brings together iconic factions from Ubisoft's many worlds. Throw members of different factions together in mixed teams, and no battle plays out the same way twice. Each faction brings a special set of skills to the table. Think of each faction as a class with a unique set of traits, activated abilities, and an ultra that can change the course of a match if you time it right. The spies of Echelon keep enemies off balance with subterfuge and info warfare, but they aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. Perfect for lone wolves, flankers, and anyone who appreciates the element of surprise. Cleaners specialize in area denial. They solve their problems and territorial disputes with fire. When you hear that flamethrower kick in, you might want to run.
Nice and clean.
Libertad's freedom fighters make their whole team better. They use BioVita therapies to keep themselves and their squad mates alive and in the battle, even against overwhelming odds.
Guerrillas never give up!
Members of DedSec can hack and take over enemy hardware, or even lock foes out of their abilities entirely and scramble their HUD. DedSec members also get to unleash this little guy.
Go make some friends.
Phantoms are ex-ghosts who use their advanced tech for personal and team defense.
Bubble engage!
They're the tankiest faction, and like Libertad, at their best when they roll with allies. Faction members can also equip any loadout, which brings us to the other stars of XDefiant, the weaponry.
Here they come.
Assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, marksman rifles, snipers, shotguns, sidearms. Each one of the 24 weapons tuned for authenticity, feel, and gameplay balance. You can unlock over 40 attachments to tune each weapon to your preference, then combine factions and loadouts to create your own playstyle. And remember, every ability, ultra, and loadout has a counterplay, because in XDefiant, team tactics and old-fashioned marksmanship are key to any victory.
The XDefiant closed beta is here, offering 4 playable factions with 16 unique abilities, 5 game modes across 14 maps, and 24 weapons with 44 attachments. That's a lot of numbers, but if you're looking to get those numbers up in the win column, you've come to the right place. We're going to help you win by breaking down the faction synergies for each mode.
You notched a win, Agent.
Game modes in XDefiant are broken up into 2 categories, Arena and Linear. Arena matches have both sides competing to achieve a higher score than their opponents in symmetrical gameplay. Linear matches put one side on offense and the other on defense and force you to employ different tactics. Regardless of the mode, you'll need to adapt on the fly to counter your opponents. And luckily, XDefiant lets you change your faction and loadout every time you respawn.
Take out all the hostiles. Stop their package.
Starting with arena modes, we have Domination. 3-point zone control, capture zones to accumulate points, you know the drill. Because the points are stationary and holding on to them is the name of the game, you're going to want factions that specialize in area denial and defense, like the Cleaners and the Phantoms. The Cleaners Incinerator drone will lay down a strip of fire, good for cutting off routes, zoning enemies, or splitting them up. Or, if you're looking to make a splash, their firebomb can immediately clear a zone of enemies, provided you get in close enough to set it off. You might not survive, but neither will your opponents, leaving your teammates free to gain control. If all else fails, remember the Purifier. The Cleaner's Ultra ability arms you with a powerful flamethrower that'll roast anyone in your path. Once a zone is yours, you'll need to hold on to it, and that's where the Phantom's mag barrier comes into play. Put 1 or 2 of these down to protect your team from enemy fire while you fend them off. In Occupy, there's only one zone you need to capture. Simple, right? Except it's constantly changing locations, forcing you to be mobile and adapt to your surroundings. Static defense can still help, but you'll want to outmaneuver and outflank your enemies. This is where the Echelons shine. Their digital ghillie suits will turn you all but invisible, letting you stealthily approach to get the drop on unsuspecting opponents. When you need some support moving from zone to zone, call in Libertad. Not only does their passive trait provide area of effect healing over time, but their Biovita boost increases overall health and health regen for all nearby allies. That extra 20 health can go a long way in winning a firefight. When you really need that extra juice, activate Libertad's Ultra, the Medical Supremo, which doubles your health and dramatically boosts your healing for a limited time. The last arena mode is Hotshot. When you kill an opponent in Hotshot, they drop a bounty. Pick up that bounty to secure a point for your team and grab your allies' bounties to deny the enemy team of points. Whichever player in the match holds the most bounties at once becomes the Hotshot, gaining enhanced movement speed, reload speed, and rate of fire. Any bounties the Hotshot picks up are also worth more, but they are marked for everyone to see and track at all times. Offense and quickness are key in Hotshot, so Echelon's digital ghillie suit is great for obvious reasons. But their intel suit is equally useful, especially for the Hotshot themselves. Everyone may know where you are, but you can return the favor with the intel suit's ability to detect nearby enemies. Say goodbye to those surprise flanks. If you really want to get the drop on your opponents, Echelon's Ultra ability, Sonar Goggles, will reveal all enemies through walls and arm players with Sam Fisher's 5.7 pistol, letting you make quick work of the opposing team. While the objective is picking up bounties, let's be real, you're gonna have to win some firefights. And you know what helps with firefights? Extra health. Utilize the Phantom's passive ability, Hardened, to always have 20 extra base health. Or trigger Libertad's Biovita boost to get extra health and regeneration. The health regen is especially useful in extended gunfights or when you just barely squeak out a trade. When it comes to XDefiant's linear modes, let's talk Escort first. One team is charged with escorting a package on a predetermined route, and one team needs to stop them. Attackers move the package by being near it. The more teammates there are, the faster it moves. Defenders can stop the package by keeping attackers away or contesting the zone. They can even reverse the package if they control it entirely. Static defense won't get you far with an ever-moving objective, but thankfully, Phantoms have the Blitz Shield. This triggered ability will give you near 100% frontal cover from gunfire, letting you get to the package more easily and stay longer. Until someone outflanks you. When the match is on the line and you just need to move that package a few more inches to hit the next checkpoint or finish line, don't be afraid to pop the Phantom's Ultra, the Aegis. The Aegis drops a bulletproof shield around the user big enough for teammates to fit it. Get on the package, activate the Aegis, and enemy teams will be hard-pressed to stop you. Stopping you, of course, is the defending team's objective, and they have plenty of tools to make that happen. The Echelon's digital ghillie suit is great for surprising the attacking team from unpredictable angles, while the Cleaner's Incinerator Drone and Firebomb can move them off the package. If all else fails, use the attacker's tactics against them. Pull out your Blitz Shield, and while they're distracted by your enemies, get up real close and personal and say hi. You know, hi with your shield. Finally, there's zone control. 5 static zones laid out in a linear map. Attackers need to stand in zones long enough to capture them before moving on to the next, and any progress they make in the capture meter is permanent. Here, the Phantom's mag barrier can be very useful, as capturing zones takes much longer than in Domination or Occupy. If you're pinned down by a defender's sniper fire, the Blitz Shield is always your friend when you need to get on the objective. The static zones are also prime locations for Libertad's El Remedio ability. Throw this baby out and it'll disperse a healing cloud for any allies in its range, and the best part is, it stays right where you threw it, even after you die. The only way to get rid of it is by destroying it or canceling the ability. So, if you're struggling to get to and stay on the point, throw out El Remedio and help your team, whether you're alive or not. These are just some of the strategies you can employ across XDefiant's 5 modes. The truth is, there's no wrong way to play. If you want 6 ghillied up Echelon players on your team, you could probably make it work. But diversity and team coordination will make winning objectives much easier. Plus, a 5th faction DeadSec will join the rotation at a later date, letting players employ battlefield hacks and other new strategies. Regardless of which faction you choose, mastery of your weapons, loadouts, and abilities is key to victory. So, What are you waiting for? The XDefiant closed beta ends on April 23rd, and certain rewards you unlock while playing will carry over to the full game when it launches later this year on PlayStation, Xbox, PC via Ubisoft Connect, and Amazon Luna. For more on XDefiant, subscribe to this channel and visit us at news.ubisoft.com.